Hey, what's up guys? It's time for another wishlist video for Season 4 Street Fighter V. Mir, what's going on, man?
Hey man, doing good.
So, I think today we should start, getting a little crazy here and talk about some of the, top tier characters this time because, our wish list won't be as positive, I guess you would say, Mir. Yeah, there's definitely some characters that we feel that should be toned down a tad. But of course, there'll be some buff in here somewhere. Yeah, let's talk about Ibuki today. So, she's regarded as a top 5 character right now. And of course, a lot of you guys don't like, we should just be buffing characters, not nerfing characters. But I think when some characters have as much utility as a character like, Ibuki, it's pretty hard to bring someone up without bringing someone like this down. So, let's just start with a little history on Ibuki real quick here. In Season 1, she was regarded as awful, but I mean, I don't think she was super bad. She was just really unexplored, and no one wanted to put the time into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And so what she got in Season 2 was a ton of buffs, and some of them, the biggest ones, was like her health buff. She went from 900 health to 950, just like out of nowhere, and her standing medium kick turned into the god normal. It went from standing medium kick went from -1 on block to +2, and it went from 0 on hit to +5, giving her a medium string. So yeah, that alone actually really helped her, and with the unexplored V-Trigger 1, I mean, damn. So right away, you remember Shin, who was like performing well in tournaments with her and really put her on the map. We did a secret top tier video a long time ago, I don't know if you remember, but I was talking about Ibuki then as well, with just the amount of buffs that she got. Of course, someone's gonna try to pick her up,
Yeah.
Yeah, fast forward a little bit to in Season 2, it was basically V-Trigger 1 madness, right? With the bomb and the setups, there's a bunch of left and rights.
The amount of mix-ups that Ibuki got from that V-Trigger were crazy, and just the juggle potential off of it too, all the kinds of combos you could get of an explosion and extensions and whatnot. Yeah, definitely very strong V-Trigger at the time, at least.
At the time, right? Because like just one left and right was pretty crazy back then for how many times you could do it, right? But it's still, V-Trigger 1 still had kind of its weaknesses, right? Where you have to land a hit, or the bomb was just kind of useless. It's so hard to salvage the bomb and basically use it and just throwing it out there raw,
3 bars?
And it was 3 bars. Enter Season 3, and they absolutely destroyed V-Trigger 1. Nerfed it to the ground. Made it unusable, basically. However, she got V-Trigger 2, which was the better version of V-Trigger 1.
Yeah, it's basically an upgrade, which is crazy, especially when you're so concerned about the fact that V-Trigger 1 was problematic because of all the mix-ups and the resets.
Yeah.
And then you just give V-Trigger 2, which is basically like the bombs, but you can see, but it doesn't matter because it's like a 50-50 anyway.
Right. Oh, dude, I can make an entire video about how insane this V-Trigger 2 is. Definitely one of the best V-Triggers in the game. And yeah, but to be fair, on Capcom's side, I mean, how could they anticipate it being this good? Like you need so much exploration. I mean, Mir, I'm serious, man. When that V-Trigger 2 first came out, everyone said it was garbage. I remember people saying it was garbage. It does no damage. It does no damage. I'm telling you, man. Okay, anyways, let's get to the good stuff, the actual wish list. So, I gotta have to say a disclaimer, probably twice, Mir, just in case. What I'm about to say, what we're asking for, because we're gonna lay down some nerfs, okay, right off the hop, but we're not asking for all these nerfs to come true. We're just giving some examples.
Not all at the same time, rather.
Right. I'm gonna say it one more time, guys. We do not want everything we're about to say to come true, because then the character would be really poopy if we did that. Just a disclaimer. So, we're gonna talk about there's 3 main ones that I really think Capcom should look at Ibuki right now, and I think it will still keep this character really, really good, because I know there's a lot of Ibuki players out there. She's a really fun character, right? There's a lot of freedom with her, and her mix-ups are cool to watch, but they're just so extreme that, yeah, we have to look at something. I think the first thing is, Mir, is bring her health. Right now, her health, it went from 950 to 925. I think she bring it down again to 900. I think
agree.
that you agree.
Yes.
I
mean, she's a character with a lot of utility.
Mhm.
She actually has decent neutral. I mean, pretty good neutral.
Yeah.
So you could compare it to someone like Korean and the like, right?
Yep.
Which is another character in 900 health.
Yep.
She's got great movement speed. Lots of mix-ups, good V triggers. One is 2 bars, so I mean, she doesn't really need to have all that much health.
Right.
So yeah, 900 health makes sense. I mean, Akuma's 900 health. And
I think she has almost as much utility as Akuma, and there's Akuma, Cammy, Karin. So I think she deserves to be at the 900 health category. It just doesn't make sense for her to be at 925 still. It's crazy, and that's one of the things that makes her V Trigger 2 really strong, because she almost always gets it twice.
Yeah, exactly.
So the next thing, and this is kind of, some people aren't talking about this too much, but her forward throw is absolutely insane, Mir, and it bugs me so much. It's probably one of the best throws in the game next to like Cammy or Akuma right now, but she almost has a throw loop. It's like a pseudo throw loop. When she throws the opponent, forward throw, she's way too close, and if you combine that with her movement speed, it's almost impossible to react to if she's going to melee you or throw you again. And we've seen it in a lot of tournaments lately, especially with Fujimura, people getting thrown 4 or 5 times, or then crush counter.
Yeah, because the throw on Quick Rise, it's only +5, so it's not even that much, like, it's not that plus, but plus 5 frames is so fast that you're, like, back on your feet.
Yeah.
It basically, immediately after you get thrown, and a lot of times, like, that kind of, you self-doubt yourself.
Right.
Because you're, like, it's so fast, it happens so quickly.
Yeah.
That, like you said, Ibuki players just abuse this and throw you again, and then you're in the same situation. And then she has meaties with, crouching medium punch or whatever, right? So... She has options, a lot of options, and you're very close, like you said.
Yeah, like Cammy have just a little bit more time, but Ibuki's almost instant, and Akuma has to dash forward. So yeah, I definitely think Capcom should look at this forward throw and put it in line with the other characters and raise the distance that she tosses you. That would definitely help compensate for her movement speed. And the third, final thing, guys, that I think is that Capcom should definitely look at is obviously her V Trigger 2. I think bringing her down to 900 health will still make her V Trigger 2 just too strong. Just because you could just use it at any point. It's always useful every single match. You can use it when the opponent's blocking, when they're getting hit. You can use it after an air EX kunai, after an EX uppercut. It's just it's endless. It's endless. You can use it in neutral. You can use it as anti-air. I mean, it can go on forever, man.
Yeah,
but how do we nerf it, Mir? Like, what do we do?
Well, I mean, there's I think a couple of easy ways. One is to make it 3 bars. Okay. And I guess you could raise the damage a little bit. I mean, it's not really necessary, but just make it 3 bars.
Okay.
And another one is that if you block it, if you block the activation, it doesn't come back. So you can keep it 2 bars. Yeah. And it still has the utility of giving you free pressure because of course the V trigger is plus. Yeah. So you can open up your opponent, but it doesn't come back to bite you in.
I think that's kind of harsh on the not coming back, because if they block it, then you basically ruined it. It's gone forever,
Well, I mean, you still get, one opportunity to open people up, which is kind of like the point of V-trigger activations, right, on block. So, I don't know, like, of course, it's really hard to tell without testing it out, having actual, hands-on with the character, but it could be another way of doing it. I don't know. Like, it would make V-trigger 1 more relevant, if anything.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing is, like, the first thing we said was make it a level 3-bar V-trigger. But the only problem with that is that we run into the situation again where it's like we're hurting the bad players or the new players, because if they can't really use V-trigger 2 to its fullest, it really hurts them, because now it's a 3-bar. You're not getting much out of it as like a pro player would, So it's kind of tricky with that. But I definitely think they should look at V-trigger 2 in some shape or form. It's just when you combine her utility with V-trigger 2, maybe if Capcom looks at her utility side and keeps V-trigger 2 the same, that would help as well. Because that's what makes V-trigger 2 so strong, is the rest of her kit combined with it,
Like another way of balancing it is that since one of the reasons why V-trigger 2 is so powerful, and it's the same reason why V-trigger 1 was powerful before the nerfs, is that you have so many ways of mixing your opponent up that you could instead try and remove some of those, especially the the more exoteric, I guess, ways of getting into your V trigger.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't hurt bad players as much because they wouldn't use those in the first place. But on a pro level,
Yeah.
It's a nerf. Like a good example is Ibuki's instant overhead. Does she really need an instant overhead? Especially when the normal overhead is like safe.
I know, man. I know.
She has cross up. Well, sorry, it's not a cross up. Non-cross up air kunai release, which is super tricky to block, physically impossible.
Right.
And it gives you a combo, so like that's another example of a thing that could go or at least be nerfed.
Right.
So like you can look at these very hard mix-ups, like very hard to block mix-ups.
Yeah.
And maybe nerf or remove some of those, and that would keep V-Trigger strong, but at the same time would be a nerf, like I said, for the pro players that use all these options.
Just her command dash alone makes it hard,
Yeah, like you have to deal with 12 different options, and you're like, well, what do I do now?
Twice around.
Especially if you're a character without DPs or anything like that.
Right. Okay, well, let's get more on the positive side here. Let's ask for a buff, because we don't want to just say nerfs for her. One thing that Capcom should definitely buff with Ibuki, obviously, is bring her V-Trigger 1 back to par. Bring V-Trigger 1. I don't know what they can do to bring it back to life, because if we go to the mix-ups, we're running into that scary situation again. But they gotta think of something.
I guess that, since they nerfed the juggle potential, that was one of the things that could come back so that it would, be more rewarding to land, because it would net you more damage. So, instead of looking at how can I land this V-Trigger, it's like when I land it, it's more rewarding. So that could be a way, right? Especially if you nerf V-Trigger 2 at the same time, it would make more sense, right? So you have more of a choice. And like we said, you cannot make these V-Triggers too mix-up heavy. Well, not mix-up heavy, but rather too crazy, because the mix-ups on the character are really strong. So like if you buff V-Trigger 1 too much, then it would be like just Season 2 all over again.
It's just tough. They're both so similar, now that you think about it, especially if you buff V-Trigger 1. Yeah. Okay, and so for the rest of the stuff, guys, these are just tidbits. Like I said, we're not asking for all of these. Some things that maybe Capcom should look at is one thing, her overhead, her forward medium kick. It's used as this throw bait tool right now, and it's something. It's like upside down kick kind of, but it's not really used as an overhead. It's used so the opponent goes for a grab because they're so scared of the million other things that Ibuki has, right? And then they get hit. If they get hit by it because they're in throw recovery, then she gets a combo after, and she can use this with her V-Trigger too. So I think that Capcom has to do two things to this. One is just make it -4 on block, because the whole thing is that the startup is slow. So Capcom expects you to punish this as she's going up and down, right, and not afterwards. But then with the input delay and stuff.
And I'm pretty sure she's actually airborne. So if you hit her in the air, like she airborne.
Yeah, she is airborne.
Yeah. So like that's different from say upside down kick, right?
Yeah.
I mean upside down kick's not an overhead, but
right.
Even though it looks airborne, you can hit Gal on the ground, but it doesn't work with Ibuki.
Yeah.
So the punish that you get, for anticipating the overhead's not as massive, right? Unless you have a move that juggles. So yeah, like you should definitely make it a little bit more punishable on block.
Right. Either that, or they can just speed it up and make it an actual overhead, but it's not throw invincible, right? That's another way to do it too. But then even that would be really strong if she can combo after it still, right? So it's a very tricky thing to do just because of the combo after. But yeah, -4 I think is the best idea.
Another thing that I want to mention that I personally have a beef with.
What's that?
Is so Ibuki's V-Skill is pretty unique in the sense that it's not unique at all. It's exactly like Kareem's. It's exactly like Kareem's, except it's better.
Oh, okay. What the heck?
But the thing that I don't like about the V-Skill is the fact that Ibuki reels backwards when she's charging it up.
Yeah.
And that like immediately dodges stuff. And that's a very strong feature, well, property rather, of the V-Skill. And I understand having it on the V-Skill itself, but I don't think it should be safe then, because like this ability to dodge attacks actually comes into play very, very often if you watch high-level tournament play, because you cannot react to this sudden movement. So sometimes like it's just whipping your face,
right?
And you basically hit them with the V-Skill, and this converts into V-Trigger, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
there's so many other
V-Trigger, blah blah blah.
So I guess you could make the charged up version still like minus to the point that it's punishable, like -5 or -4, and just have it, you know, have a bunch, you know, a bit of pushback, so that's kind of hard to punish if you're not close. So you can still space it, and that's fine, right? But if you're doing it, you know, in front of your opponent, then you're gonna get punished.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be -2. I think it's kind of silly. So yeah, -4.
Okay.
Seems like reasonable.
Anything else, Mir, on the wish list?
No, let's not go too hard, otherwise people are gonna tell us that
like I tried to do my disclaimer, man. I tried. Okay, well, like I said, the important things, like I said, that I would be satisfied with is just the health, the forward throw, and something with V-Trigger 2. Or something that, on the neutral side, that complements V-Trigger 2. I think Capcom should look at right now. And of course, bring V-Trigger 1 back up to par. I want more choices, of course. Either make the bomb stronger, something. And if she goes down to 900 health, right, then, you know, V-Trigger 1, with both these V-Triggers being 3 bars or something, will definitely hurt it just by that alone. So, yeah. We'll see what Capcom does with Ibuki. I mean, she's been strong for 2 seasons in a row now. And, you know, definitely want to see some changes here on Season 4. And, you know, spice up this tier list a bit, for sure.
Yeah, and like we said, you know, if you look at these videos that we're doing, and you know, in relation to the others that we've made, a character, even a top tier character as Ibuki with these nerfs, it would be more on par with the rest of the cast, like the low tier characters that have been buffed with, you know, what we were, right? So that'd be, yeah, a little bit more even. So we hope to see that, of course.
For sure, for sure. Okay, guys, let us know what you think about this Ibuki wishlist changes. What you guys would change with Ibuki in the comments below. Do you guys want buffs? Do you guys want nerfs? Of course, let us know. Do us a solid. Please subscribe to the channel. And of course, like the video. Mir, thanks a lot for joining me. And
No problem, man.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care.